I grew up in a very poor household. My mother, sister, and I were homeless for 3 years. And during that time period, food was very scarce. So if you look at what we serve here, a lot of it would be classified as quote unquote white trash food redux. And so, that's kind of what we're creating: chips and salsa, chicken and waffles, very basic things. I don't forget what it was like to go through that period, but also I've always wondered, how would a fine dining restaurant interpret this stuff? How could you serve this in a fine dining restaurant? The minute I had the opportunity to work in a restaurant, I thought I was in heaven. Here I get a free dinner, I get to work around food, I get to work with really crazy people. At all times, I would work for free in the really high-end establishments and then work a full-time job to pay the bills, or as nice of a restaurant as I could. All told, by the time I came to Chicago, I worked in about 50 different restaurants. I always had to push myself to make ends meet, and not only that, but if I wanted something better, I had to just create it myself. And so it's like this restaurant, if we want something better, if we want to learn about biofuels and make food at the same time, we're just gonna have to do that ourselves. And so that's how I look at it. It's gotta be not only a business, but a self-sustaining business. Do you ever think about growing your fuel at home? I mean, most people think, oh, that's Exxon's job, we're gonna leave it to them. Well, Exxon just creates oil spills and madness and high fuel prices. I'm not gonna depend on someone else to figure out those problems. But I can tell you, you're gonna see some things going green here that the average household can do that have never been done before. Cantu Designs is my company that I formed, which I've filed a number of patents with, and I license those patents to outside companies, do speaking engagements, consulting, and basically it's like it's the playground that I use to create things that may or may not be food related. So another big idea, my goal is to take everything that you have in the houseware section and shrink it down into a drawer, much like the computer took file cabinets and just squished it down into one small unit. Why would you buy 50 products? Why couldn't you have a melon baller, a juicer, a knife, a spoon, a fork, all that stuff in one device that costs you, a fraction of what all of this stuff would cost you? One of the things that I wanted to change about this restaurant were the operations, the day-to-day operations and how we functioned. We used to have a ticket machine, that would actually spit out tickets, and we found that we were spending $7,000 a year. So if all we need is temporary information, why do we need to print all of this stuff up? So we eliminated the need for paper products. On top of that, we have an edible menu, so people actually consume the menu. And I think the world is going paperless. We've got to provide an exceptional service. We have to follow the rules of engagement when it comes to, just using organic, local, socially responsible products. We can't possibly sustain, our way of cooking for the next 300 or 400 years. What are we going to do that's different? It's time for change now rather than waiting for later.